Hello everybody, this is Marquita. Oh, I got a pimple, or a beginning of one. Anyhow, look how big it is. It don't feel that big in person.
Well, don't worry about that. They don't want to see that.
Well, I mean, it bothers me.
Well,
you know
but
that.
it's bothering you. They don't need to be bothered by it.
I'm here to rant. Yes, here again to rant. I did make a rant video yesterday about Al. However, still, shame on you, Al. Shame on you. I would like to apologize for Hoda for saying that she was Indian. She is not Indian. She's American, born in Oklahoma. But that's beside the point. She should have still stood up for other countries. Her parent is from Egypt. It's near India. It's near Asia. I'm just saying. I wasn't that far off. Anyhow, what I was saying was today's rant video is about the My People Fund, the Dolly Parton My People Fund. I'm sitting here minding my own business, watching the news, and they're like, oh, well, they're gonna start giving out the checks for, Dolly Parton My People. And I'm like,
at the end of this month.
At the end of this month. I'm thinking, I thought they already started giving out them checks, because they even said before Christmas, they were like, if your last name is between this and this, you will get your check like on the 10th. If it's between this and this, you will get it on the 15th or something like that. They split it up in 2 days, but it was like if your name's whatever. And so I thought everybody was already getting a check. Now, to my understanding, and to Gary's understanding, we thought, and this is what I heard her say, and I'm going to say that I heard her say because I believe my ears too. Her saying that she was going to give the families, now let me say that again, the families that was displaced from the fires, $1,000 a month until they get back on their feet. That was my understanding. That's what I thought that they were going to do. That's why I'm like, yes, help Dolly. She was taking money out of her pocket. Taking money out of her pocket to help Gatlinburg, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge. She's from Sevierville. Born, raised. That's why it's My People Fund, because it was her people that was affected by the fires. So I'm like, yes, everybody help Dolly. Wooda, wooda, wooda. Okay. Now they coming back saying, starting at the end of this month, they're going to start issuing a check, the $1,000 for 3 months. Now, there was never any time constraint or set for these people to get money. All it was that they would get it until they get back on their feet, till they get right. Okay, and that's issue number 1 that they said for 3 months. Okay, issue number 2 is they said each family and businesses. She never said anything for businesses. She never said, okay, I'm gonna give $1,000 to the families and I'm gonna give $1,000 to the business. My problem with that, not that some of the business might not need that extra little coinage to get back right. My problem is Gatlinburg is back open. The businesses that I seen, the big businesses that was affected by fires, are up and running. They don't need that $1,000. That's not what that money was for. That money was to help them get back right, not to replace what money they lost. in the fire.
And the ones that have family businesses. The $1,000 wasn't meant to help them get their business back and running. If they get an extra $1,000 for their business and their family, then they're getting $2,000, where other people are only getting $1,000 a month.
Exactly.
That's not right.
And then what about the people that are stay-at-home parents that don't have a business, or have a business, but it's not wasn't affected by the fire. It wasn't affected by a fire. Like, okay, I might sell sandwiches. I might be Paula Deen in the coming up. I might be Brown Back Lady. But because it's not an official business, but it's still a business, okay, I now can't sell to these people. But this is my business. My business is to sell bag lunches. Okay? But now that let's say McDonald's is up and running selling bad lunches, they done stole my business. But okay, I might not be registered like with the government, like big business. Like my name might not be on the top of the list, but it might be on the list. I'm just saying. The point of it is, that's not fair. It's not, because it was not for the businesses. It was for the families. She specifically said for the families to get back right. And yes, the businesses were hurt. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not discrediting the businesses. What I am saying is, if you're up and running now, at this point of the fire process, then I think by default you should do the right thing. Even if they're gonna write you a check, don't be greedy, because it could be one family that might not get a piece of the pie to get back right, that deserves to get a piece of the pie, that now can't because you got your greedy fat hands out for that $1,000 for 3 months. Okay, I mean,
and because you're getting paid for your family and you're getting paid for your business, you're taking $1,000 out of somebody else's.
Exactly. So my main gripe is, if the businesses are up and running, they don't have to be running 100 completely, but if they're at least making $50, guess what? You don't need to get the money. You disqualify. You are disqualified if you are at least making $50 a day. And that is like freaking
nothing.
That's nothing. That's like $50 an hour. Like maybe not even an hour. Like $50 every 30 minutes. But I'm just saying. The point of it is if you're up and running and you have your business and your business is running, you by default are not entitled to the money. You do not qualify because you are made not 100% whole, but you are getting back there.
Well, plus, as a business owner, you got insurance that covers it.
Exactly.
You don't need the extra money.
You don't. And it wasn't for the businesses. It was not for the businesses. That's not what she never said.
That's why she said it was for the families.
It was for
the business has its own insurance.
Yeah, and some people have home insurance. But
I'm not saying, going to cover their expenses at home once they get there.
Because if they didn't have fire insurance, it's not covered because they're going to consider it an act of God, which if you don't have the act of God insurance, you're not covered. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, like who knew, okay, my house is going to get destroyed by a wildfire. I live in the mountains. That's not the first thing in my mind. My first thing, if I live in the mountains, is I need avalanche or even blizzard protection.
Yeah, she's snoring.
She said they're snoring. Like some kind of protection that would pertain to me. Wildfires, that's not gonna. That to me does not pop in my head. There's something that I need because it's the Smoky Mountains.
And it goes along those same lines as flood insurance. In a mountain, you shouldn't need flood insurance.
You shouldn't need flood insurance. But I mean, they consider that the act of God if your house gets destroyed in fire or flood. And it's like how would I know to get that insurance. That's not something that happens every day. And if you get every insurance coverage on your house, then you're going to be forking out some money. Because it's like, what if? Yeah, what if? But if your banking account can't cover for that what if, then you're out of it. Mm-hmm. And that's why she was trying to make people a little whole, like more whole than they are currently are, just to get them back up. And she never set a time limit. She said until everybody gets back up and running. But when you start giving John, Jacob, and G. Muhammad and Smith, once you start giving them all a little piece of the pie, then it ain't enough for, Mary Sue and Tom. You know what I'm saying?
It's mainly for the ones that lost their homes and are going to have them rebuilt so they can be in a motel and it's covered.
Yeah.
That $1,000 is to cover their
probably
room and
doing?
Food.
You know what they're probably doing? They're probably, because the firefighters, which I thank you, firefighters and all the people that put in all them hours getting us all safe and everything. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. But because they had so many hours of overtime, now the state is trying to come up with money to pay the firefighters and the ambulance and the animal hospitals that took in the animals that got hurt. And, the hospital, which I don't even know. Is the hospital visits even covered? Or do they have to pay that when they get out of the hospital?
They have to pay it.
See, that's messed up. Health insurance might not even cover it because that might be an act of God. Like, yeah, I knew I was going to get hurt in a wildfire. Then I never even thought that it was going to happen in my neck of the woods. No pun intended, but intended. I'm just saying.
But it's all beside the point.
It's beside the point. The money is for the families.
For the families to help pay for lodging that they need to stay in, help pay for food. And then when you start giving it to the businesses, you're taking food out of their mouth because they're not going to get enough. And 3 months sure isn't going to be enough to cover.
That ain't
you
even
can't get a house built in that time.
I was going to say.
Not as many houses burned down.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's just ridiculous.
And then say if somebody's still in the hospital, they can't, like, one, look. Is that Matt? No, they ain't Matt. Yeah. They're not even out of the hospital because there's still some people in the hospital that got hurt in the fires. And burn victims, that's in Nashville and all that.
That are going to have gaps in their insurance that they have to pay out of pocket that they're not going to have money for because they don't have a job and they got too many other expenses waiting on them.
Yeah, and they're trying to recover. That they're trying to recover from the fire. But what I was saying is they're in the hospital still. Some of them are, or some of them are in rehabs for recovery, getting better from the burns and everything. So they're not out to even get their house built. So unless somebody's going to go on their behalf and be like, okay, this is the type of house that they had, this is the space that they need and all that, then they're at the bottom of the list. So even if they say, okay, well, we can build all y'all houses in 2 months or 3 months. Okay, if I'm not going to be out of the hospital for 4 months, then that means either you're not going to build my house or my house is going to be at the very bottom of the list. And by the time you get to my house, you might run out of money, aka the money that Dolly said that she was going to give me. I'm not saying it's about what you should get, but it's about being right. But okay, say if Dolly said that she's going to give me $1,000 a month to help me build my house. Okay, when it comes down to me, when I get out of the hospital or when my turn comes to get my house built, I might literally get a 1-room shack, which it worked for. Oh, they both sleep. Yeah, I mean, it worked for Dolly and her family, but you gotta also think, back in the 50s,
yeah.
Back in the 50s, having a log cabin and staying in one room, that was the norm. But it's 2017. That's not the norm. Give them people their money. I'm sorry, I done ran it.
Well, also, there's one other thing that most people don't think about. Those that are seriously injured are going to have some time in a nursing facility. Insurance don't cover that.
Well, that's why I said a recovery.
And insurance doesn't cover those.
Yeah.
Or if it does, it's only going to pay like $500 out of the $6,000 it costs a month.
Yeah. Or even just, okay, well, we'll give you, like, we'll let you stay here for 3 months or for 3 weeks. And then it's like, okay, well, I need 8 weeks of recovery. It's like, where do I go? I don't have a house to do recovery at. And, like, I don't have enough money for a hotel. I can't stay at the hospital. It's like, what do I do? Go out here and force myself to be better? Like, tell my skin, now you heal right now. It's like, or, you know, whatever. Just pray for the families. I don't even know. I just feel like the government is doing the My People fund
particularly
wrong.
The Gatlinburg government.
Yeah, the Gatlinburg government.
They're divvying it out wrong.
Yeah.
That wasn't the way it was meant to be.
It's not.
And I think the national government needs to step in and correct what they're doing wrong, because that defeats the whole purpose of the fundraising that we did. Because the whole purpose people gave for was to help the people that were displaced out of their home, not to help those businesses rebuild because they got insurance.
Yeah. And if
so
Trump
that means the funds are being misappropriated.
Trump, this is to you, sir. If, like, your first thing of business, I know our little town is not that important. It's, you know, but it's important to us. So your next point of business, that you said that you're here to help the people, we are in need. We need help if you really want to be that type of president. If not, then don't make promises you can't keep. Yes, that was specifically to Trump. That was not being insubordinate. We're not a not Democrat. What's that? Democracy? A capitalist?
No, we're not capitalists.
We're not a capitalistic country yet. So I'm allowed to say that. But
I'm definitely not communist.
And we're not communists. I'm sorry to the countries that cannot speak their mind, but I'm lucky to be in a what's that one? Democracy.
Yeah, a democratic
in
nation.
a democratic nation. So just y'all think about it. Y'all think about it. It was just me ranting. Me PO'd to the 10th power. All right. Bye.
Bye.